We got a quick turnaround for this one. Part 2 of MLS Decision Day, Western Conference edition. A lot of teams competing for a playoff spot in the second part. A lot of teams that are, some teams are fighting for the second spot in the standings, all the way to teams that are fighting for a playoff spot in general. A lot of stuff that's going on. A lot of big games in the second part of MLS Decision Day. A lot of big games. I'm going to pull it up real quick because I want to show you guys this and we can look at it. So as far as the standings right now, Eastern Conference is locked in. We know who's going to play who in the Eastern Conference, but Western Conference is wide open, guys. Wide open. Now, Vancouver has locked in the first seed. That's happened already, okay? But the second spot, the third spot, and even the fourth spot, all are in flux right now. San Diego, LAFC, and Minnesota United are all battling for the second seed in the Western Conference. So there's a lot at stake. Now, Seattle Sounders are locked into the fifth spot. That's the only spot that's guaranteed right now, that they are the fifth seed in the Western Conference. Austin, Portland, FC Dallas, RSL, Colorado, and San Jose, 6 through 11, are battling for the final spots of the playoff, or just, the positioning in the playoffs. There's just so many teams battling for these final spots. This is probably the most exciting Western Conference decision day that there's been in a long time. The only spot, I'll repeat this one more time, the only two spots that are guaranteed to not change are Seattle Sounders at number 5 and Vancouver Whitecaps at number 1. That's the only two things that are not going to change. So it's going to be an interesting night. I'm excited. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a like down below. Let's try to go as much as we can. We had a pretty successful first part, Eastern Conference. We're going to have an even more successful second part, Western Conference Decision Day. So make sure you give us a like down below. Let's try to hit 50 likes on this stream. Share with a friend. Let's grow the audience as much as we can. We want to enjoy this game. We want to see with as many people as we can that will join us to see where these teams are going to finish and who they're going to play in the first round of the MLS Cup playoffs. A lot of stuff going on. We're going to have some guests come through tonight. We got Tony Sanchez. We got Hernand from We Are Austin TV. We've got some good guests stopping by tonight to talk about their teams and where they're going to finish and how they're feeling about it. A lot of cool stuff going on. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. But I'm going to pull up the matches because I want to get that locked in so that way we're good to go whenever this does fire back up. We got a couple comments. Tommy says Messi MVP locked. At this point, Messi is going to win the most valuable player. It's just going to happen. He has 29 goals, and he has 29 goals, 19 assists, 48 goal contributions this season. And he only has one goal that's a penalty. And we saw it tonight. He has 28 goals that are not penalties this year. 28 goals that are not penalties this year. He's having an incredible season. He's having an MVP-worthy season. It's over with. It's done. Messi is your MVP. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's over with. Brandon says, have you heard De La Vega got hurt? Yes, I did. I think I heard something about that. Trust says OMG, Denis. Harry says no. Vancouver could lose first. No, I don't think there's any way Vancouver can lose first. Oh, there is. Okay, yeah. Sorry, my apologies. Vancouver has not locked up. My apologies, Harry. You're right. You're right, 100%. I don't know why I was looking at the wins. That is true. Vancouver could still theoretically not. So the only spot that's locked in the Western Conference is number 5 Seattle. That's the only spot that is locked in at this moment is number 5 Seattle, which is really weird and random when you think about it. But that's the only spot that's locked in at this moment. We'll see what happens. There's just so much uncertainty. So much uncertainty. Butterdog says MVP is definitely locked now. Mim says, I told you Messi was not going to lose the top goal scorer. I never said he was going to. I never said he was going to lose that. Man, this is going to be crazy. So there's so many different things that could happen. The only spot that's guaranteed is that number 5, Seattle, will stay at number 5, which is really hard to believe. Really hard to believe. Miami fan says, hi from part 1. Appreciate you for stopping by. Daniel says, do we get a Hell is Real derby? Yes, I think that is what is going to happen. We're going to get a Hell is Real derby in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. And Michael Pelly says, okay, it's time for Bouanga to score 5 goals tonight. Yeah, if he scores 5 goals, but even if he scores 5 goals, he would just be tying Messi, and Messi would still win the Golden Boot. He'd have to score 6 goals to beat Messi's Golden Boot. Yeah, he would need 6 goals to beat Messi's. Needs 6 goals to beat Messi's record and take over the Golden Boot race. Miami fan says we play Nashville 3 more times. First game is in Miami. That is true. They will play. They will play. They will play Inter Miami. That is, will play Nashville SC in the first round of the playoffs, and they will play them most likely 4 times in a row, which is very, very hard to believe. But that's just where we are in the MLS Cup playoffs. That's just what it is. We'll see what happens. But Hell is Real derby is pretty cool. That's going to be an awesome first round. That's going to be an awesome first round, series. And this has been very exciting. Like I said, Eastern Conference was a couple spots that could change, but the Western Conference is completely up for grabs. There's a lot of Korean fans at the Dick's Sporting Goods Park, which is cool to see. A lot of Korean fans at the Dick's Sporting Goods Park. Nashville versus Inter Miami is going to become a rivalry, I feel. Well, as many times as they're playing them, you would expect it to probably be a rivalry, right? You would probably expect it to be a rivalry. Now, let me look at the starting 11 on this. I'm curious to see if they did, in fact. I mean, Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga, I'm pretty sure we're going to play. Yeah, Sonny's starting, and looks like Tillman. Oh, God, they're rolling out the Tillman lineup again. Oh, God. Tillman is so bad with this team. So they got Chouanier. They've got Tillman, Sonny, Bouanga, Delgado, Segura. They're playing their 5 in the back, which is fine. But having Tillman in this, why isn't Morin playing? I don't know why Morin is not playing. Morin has been incredible for them. I have no idea why he's not playing in this game. Mr. says, I'm just looking forward to seeing Sonny and Bouanga tonight. Bouanga looks like a new man because of Son. Well, I'm excited to see them too because it's been 2 matches since we've seen them play together. It's been almost 2 weeks since we've seen them play for LAFC. Maybe not quite 2 weeks, but pretty close, maybe 10, 11 days. But you get my point. It's been 2 games since we've seen them play. This will be their. They missed the last 2 matches due to international duty. So it is going to be interesting to see if they can pick up where they left off and see if they're able to do that. Ashcan says Colorado missing out on the playoffs. So sad to be playing LAFC on decision day. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I don't know if Colorado could still make the playoffs. Rob Holding has some history versus Son from Arsenal days. Son used to rinse him. We'll see if he can do that tonight. We'll see. Chris Armas is not a very good manager, so I would not be surprised if LAFC are able to just run through Colorado Rapids. The Colorado Rapids are not very good. They haven't been good all season. I'm not been impressed with them. I don't know if you guys have been impressed with them, but I don't think they've been a very good team in 2025. I don't think they've been a very good team in 2025, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, anything can happen. We saw some pretty good matchups today. We saw some upsets. We saw Orlando City SC win 4-2. By the way, guys, I just want to say this. We will be doing a post-game recap. I do all LAFC and kind of have a partnership with Nick. We're going to do a post-game recap after this match. He's going to join me. But there will be a video tomorrow kind of, breaking down what we saw in decision day. And I would think I'm going to probably put out the playoff prediction video on Monday or Tuesday. I haven't figured that out yet. I have to go back and look and see what my schedule was last year. I want to say that I put out my prediction video before the play-in game was played, but I don't remember exactly, so I'll have to see. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if that's what I in fact did, but I want to say that that's what happened. I'm just not 100% sure. So we'll check that and see what's going on. But, the playoffs are right around the corner. Wednesday night is going to be a play-in match. It's either going to be whoever is the play-in teams in this game, or it's going to be Orlando City and Chicago Fire. So we got games right around the corner. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see who is going to be MLS champion this year. And I just really hope that the playoffs deliver and that they're as exciting as they were or they have been in years past. Last year's playoffs really didn't age well for me. I think they kind of disappointed just because of some of the teams that failed and got bounced kind of early. But I do think that this has the potential, like me and Fabi were talking about earlier, because of all these other teams that have high profile players. This has the potential to really elevate this playoff year because of the names that are here. Daniel says, who are your teams that you think could surprise us in the playoffs? It's a good one. I have to look at it a little bit just to see the matchups, but I do think that Chicago could be interesting. I think in the Western Conference, I think that Portland could be interesting as far as teams that aren't high seeds, but I have to see the matchups first. Michael says, Will, do you think Griezmann could still be a good fit for LAFC as more of a playmaker? Probably not at this point. It really doesn't make sense to sign him. I think they need to focus on other areas of need. I think it'd be best for Griezmann to probably go somewhere else, but I don't think Griezmann's coming to MLS. I don't think that's going to happen. Miami fan says Messi had a hat trick on the last game of the regular season, now has a hat trick on the last game of this regular season. Yeah, no, that's impressive. He was able to do that. For some reason, Arteta loved Holding. Holding was always prone to being too aggressive and being a headless chicken. Hacker says Messi stats is crazy. If he didn't win MVP, then that would be the biggest robbery in MLS. That's probably true. Ashkin says, I think Vancouver, Seattle, LAFC, Charlotte, Inter Miami are the favorites in MLS Cup playoffs right now. So you think that 3 of the teams in the Western Conference could be the favorite, but the East is deeper. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't think that Seattle has a I don't think they have a good enough striker to really compete for the MLS Cup. So I would be a little shocked by that, but you never know. It could happen. That's the good news. We're about to find out what's going to happen. We get to find out who is going to be Um, we get to find out who's going to be the team that prevails and who plays the best in the playoffs. The playoffs are a totally different animal. You know, you can't win playing bad, poor football. If you play bad, even a game or two, it could cost you your entire playoffs. Ask Inter Miami last year, bounced the first round. Ask Columbus Crew, bounced in the first round. You have to play good ball the entire time, or you're in trouble. You have to play good collective ball the entire time, or you are in trouble. I genuinely love seeing how much more competitive the MLS gets every year. It gets more and more exciting, and the other teams just keep getting better and better. That's true. Seattle are coming off winning the League's Cup. Yeah, they are coming off winning League's Cup, but they've been bad ever since. How many games have they lost? And also, too, League's Cup, they played every single game at home. In the Club World Cup, they played every single game at home. They're not going to be able to do that this year in the playoffs. They're the 5th seed. They're not even going to be the hosting team in the first round. They're going to have to go play whoever they play in the first round. That team is going to have the home field advantage. And Seattle could get bounced in the first round, theoretically. They could. They're not a good away team. Seattle's not a good away team. They lost to, let's see, besides tonight, they did beat New York City, but last time they won an away game was League's Cup. They did beat LA Galaxy, but they played the final and every other game at home. Last time that they won a game that wasn't League's Cup on the road was against the Galaxy on August the 10th. The Galaxy are the worst team maybe in the league. And then they beat Sporting Kansas City, also not a playoff team, on July 12th. I don't think that they're a serious contender. I don't think that they're a good on the road team. Will, I told you Messi hat trick. You did call that, Amy. You definitely did call that. If Suarez didn't miss that chance of a goal where Messi gave him a beautiful pass, he could break Carlos Vela's record. Well, he wouldn't have broken it. He would have tied it because he's still one goal contribution away from tying it. He got 48. Vela had 49, so he's one goal contribution from tying it. Still impressive, though. Still very, very impressive. Consistency is what's needed. Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to be consistent. You can't slip up. You got to play well. You can't have bad games, or you're cooked. You're in trouble. You got to play consistently. Messi broke Vela's record if we use the regular assist definition and not the pre-assist MLS one. Now, that's probably true, but honestly, I really don't care about that. I think the most impressive thing about what Messi did this year is that he scored 28 goals 28 non-penalty goals in 2025. And if it wasn't for him taking that one penalty, he would have been the first player in the history of MLS to win the Golden Boot without scoring a single penalty shot. Messi would have been the first player to win the Golden Boot without scoring a penalty if he hadn't taken one tonight. But he for sure clinched the Golden Boot, and it looks like he's going to be the first player in MLS history to have back-to-back MVPs. Juan says Messi would have broke the record with penalties he gave up during the year at Allende and Suarez tripping over tapping goals. That's exactly why they need to get a younger team and put it around him. Imagine how much better they could be if they had a younger team that they put around him instead of this old, injured, slow team. Look how much better it would be. Certainly Ceramic says, which game are you watching? I'm starting off with the LAFC game, but I'm going to bounce around. I'm going to try to watch the Portland San Diego FC game. I'm going to tune into the San Jose Austin game. I might tune into the Vancouver Dallas game. I'm going to try to hop around a little bit. I don't think they have the if they do, I don't use it. I usually just rewatch it or I'll watch maybe if there's a game I'm not able to watch, I'll watch the highlights of it. I don't think they have the corner setting where you can have 4 games on at once, but maybe they do now. I can't remember if they do or they don't. Maybe they do. Most impressive thing about Messi's season is he did it by playing mostly with Allende and La Tortuga. Yeah, that is more impressive, honestly. If Vela had a lot of young talent around him when he did the record, he had a lot of good young talent around him. So Messi did this with essentially one hand tied behind his back. Hacker says, what else Messi has to do to win MVP then? Last season, people who were crying saying Messi doesn't play enough, but I'm curious what excuses they're going to make now. I mean, I don't really know what excuse you can make. He had the best season. I don't think it's even close. All right, officially kicked off. LAFC, Colorado Rapids officially kicked off. All the other matches officially kicked off. We are underway. Western Conference Decision Day is officially underway. Looks like there's already a shot attempt on Zach Steffen. He's already getting tested. Yeah, did Bouanga take that shot? Do we know already who will face who in the playoffs? Is Miami playing Nashville again confirmed? Yes, it's confirmed. Nashville will play Inter Miami in the first round. Yes. Rob Holding, LMAFO, FAO. God, everybody hates Rob Holding. Sonny? Oh, God, if it got to Safari, he's wide open. Denis? God, Segura was pretty far up. Messi still impresses me because he is 38 and he plays like he's 28. I never feel like he is old when he is on the field. Sometimes he does look a little old. Like he's definitely lost some of his pace, but he's still very good. He's still incredible. Rob Holding had to hold Sonny's pocket last time they played each other. How long ago was that? Arsenal versus Tottenham when Holding was there and Sonny played. Oh, that was a dangerous pass. Ooh, offside. Let me readjust this score so that way you guys can see them all. I didn't realize it was kind of crooked. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Yeah, there was goals early too in the previous games. There was I think there was a goal in the first 2 minutes. We'll see how these go. Hopefully this, like I said, there's a lot of teams that are playing for playoff spots right now. Hopefully this is as exciting and there's a lot of goals early on or just in general in these games. Harry says probably 3 years ago. I don't hate Rob Holding. Mr. says he's just not very good. Yeah, well, I mean, if he was good, he probably wouldn't be playing here, right? As a defender, that is, right? I mean, he didn't come here he didn't come to MLS because they're paying him a lot of money. We'll say that, right? Jay Shawnee says, Otani making Sony look like a minnow. Hey, yeah, Shohei Otani had a crazy game last night, 10 strikeouts, three home runs. That was a crazy, crazy game. Sony. Oof. Oh my God, the temperature's in the 40s tonight already? I bet I'm not gonna lie, I bet that actually probably feels pretty good. As hot as it's been, I bet that actually probably feels pretty good. It is 40 degrees in 40 degrees in Colorado tonight. Bouanga needs 6 goals to be the top scorer. Hope Anders doesn't get his assist. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to score. It's going to be... Oh, Tony's in here. Sorry. Tony, my friend, I'm sorry. I didn't even see you in here. Hopefully you haven't been waiting too long.
No, it's all good. Can you guys hear me good? You guys good to go?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we hear you.
Stuff.
We hear you good. We hear you good. I'm glad that you're able to join us, my friend. So I was totally wrong. I thought that Vancouver had the first seed locked up, but I couldn't be further from the truth. The only team that's locked in right now is Seattle at number 5. So San Diego's still right there in the hunt to finish first place. And then they can finish as low, I think maybe they can finish as low as fourth place, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's third. Either way, regardless of where you finish, Tony, hell of a season, man. Hell of a season. Exceeded all expectations. Nothing to be ashamed of. Like, this has been an incredible first year for San Diego FC.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, I'm actually at Snapdragon Stadium here for a San Diego Wave NWSL match, as in tandem, San Diego FC is capping off probably the greatest regular season for any expansion team in history. And I mean, that's what head coach Mike Ibarra said, that until it's done otherwise, right now the team is taking it as such. And, they should be immensely proud of what they've been able to build here in San Diego from the ground up. An inaugural season, a lot of questions, the play style, the right to dream aspect, the how different in philosophy it was in building a club that everybody was projecting 15th, 14th, 13th, and you could have been just as right potentially. And yet we are here on decision day talking about a chance for San Diego FC to finish in first place. And that's if they beat Portland right now, and it's still 0-0 as we're seeing it. And with a Vancouver loss or a loss to Dallas. So right now, San Diego FC is watching what Dallas is doing against Whitecaps. And if those combination of things happen, San Diego FC finish first place in the Western Division in their inaugural season.
Listen, Tony, I want to tell you this. In any other circumstances, Anders Dreyer would have been the runaway MVP in Major League Soccer. Like, it wouldn't even be close. And it's not just about his stats. It's about the context of who he's playing on. He's playing on a team who's never played together before. It's a brand new collection of players. First time coach at the senior level, right? He's only coached U teams. This is incredible. He would be the runaway MVP in any other year. But unfortunately, there's a guy by the name of Lionel Messi who plays in this league. He scores 29 goals in 28 games and he has 19 assists. So it seems like the dream of Anders Dreyer winning MVP is dead, but he will be the newcomer of the year. I'm sure of that. He will run away with that. Now, are you surprised? Like, I think everybody, maybe including me and you, thought Chucky Lozano was the guy. He was going to be the person who's kind of driving this thing, but that's been the furthest from the case. This is Anders Dreyer's team.
Yeah, Dreyer is the player that's had the most starts, played the most minutes, and really it shows that different pedigree and edge that he has. He's in the prime of his career, whereas Chucky Lozano is now kind of towards that sunset era where, every Mexican national team fan knew what was happening with Chucky Lozano towards the end of his career, going back to Napoli, going back and really just having an opportunity to live a little bit of an imprint. And Chucky was never going to be that goal scorer. He was never going to win the Golden Boot. He was never going to be in that race. That's just not the type of player he is. But Anders Dreyer was one of the moves that preseason, Chiva, my co-host, and I just looked at him like, okay, from Anderlecht, there's pedigree there. He's still young. He still has something to grow towards and really showcase. And he wants to showcase for the Danish national team. And he's been featuring in the Danish national team. He actually just scored a brace against Belarus this last international break. So the formula is working. And what I'll say about Mike Ibarra is that a first-year head coach could not have dreamed up a better season and a better situation than what Mike Ibarra has. But it doesn't just take the right ingredients to put it all together. It takes the right person. And Mike Ibarra is that person to be able to lead this team with this philosophy, with the right to dream play style, and really mold it into this hybrid U.S. young men national team, international player rehab facility of a team that it's been. And it's been working out. Look at Luca de la Torre. He made an appearance for the U.S. men's national team. Once again, he has dipped in form a little bit. I'm not too sure. I don't think he's going to be coming back next season for San Diego FC. But nonetheless, it's been an impressive season. But yeah, Messi, he just chooses when he wants something. And he chose it. He was like, all right, I'll just let it happen. Let it be that I am the Golden Boot winner.
Well, so let me ask you about Dreyer, because I believe, first of all, not only newcomer of the year, not only would be MVP in any other normal season, but also just what they bought him for. He's the biggest steal I've seen in MLS in a very long time. I mean, they only paid 5 million euros for him, and he's produced better than some guys that they paid 20 million euros for in this league, right? He's been incredible. Do you think that he's going to stick around long term? Because, like you said, he's only 26 years old. He's going to have interest. People in Europe are going to want to sign him. He might have some Premier League interest, some La Liga interest, Serie A. Like, he's going to have a lot of people, a lot of suitors. Do you think that San Diego are going to hold on to him, or do you think there's a chance he could be sold? And what would it take for San Diego to let him walk or let him go?
I really think at this point it's up to Honors and whatever he desires. And I could tell you he's loving San Diego and loving America and really enjoying taking in this challenge for himself, because again, it was a challenge for him. And that's something that he wanted to go ahead and do, is challenge himself in order to get that next gear of play for himself. Yeah, he's going to be an Anderlecht, but what was the ceiling over in Europe? Is there going to be suitors coming over? Maybe on we've already seen a Luca Bombino be contacted by West Brom Albion, and just kind of these secondary teams where obviously the level of MLS has increased and gotten better, but it's not necessarily at the tip-top Magoo of Europe so far. But I think right now it's up until Anders Dreyer wants it to be. And I think San Diego FC, Tyler Heaps, the sporting director, has learned his lesson about letting fan favorite team players walk. And they received a big lesson on that with Iloski earlier this season as well.
What do you think if you did have to put a price tag, what would it have to be to even start the discussions with San Diego to let him walk? Like what, 15 million probably?
Yeah, 15 to 20 million, especially given his age and what he's been able to really showcase. And again, he's showcasing in a World Cup form. So at least for the Danish national team, it's going to have to be something that he grows exponentially into. But right now, he's one of the biggest stars in American soccer. So that's something that has to increase the value and the price tag. And for San Diego FC, we're really going to see what it means to have a bespoke lineup and so much young talent, and this Right to Dream Academy where there's 13, 14, 15-year-olds playing in the academy that are soon going to get first team action for the team, for the club, starting even next year, right? So that's the model of San Diego FC, churning and burning and making a profit on some of these stars that they find locally. And maybe they didn't find Anders Dreyer locally, but he might also fall under the business end of things. And, there we go. He just kind of did his job here and off he went. I'll tell you this much, as a San Diego sports viewer in my entire life, and knowing the Chargers, I know we're differing from different sports, baseball, that's always been a San Diego trope of having great players and then just seeing them succeed elsewhere.
Yeah. And, I actually hope he doesn't leave, because he has been so instrumental, and he will always be part of history because he's the best player on their first season of all time. And also, too, I think, honestly, Tony, I don't think he would leave unless it's just some crazy offer that's good for his family wage-wise, which I think San Diego would probably be willing to match a lot of the offers. But the fact of what you said is he's still playing for Denmark. If his international spot was in jeopardy because of where he's playing, then yes, I would expect him to probably move abroad. But if he can play for the national team and stay at San Diego FC, he really doesn't have any reason to leave.
Yeah, and that's it, right? Like the level in which national team play is heralded everywhere else in the world except for America and the U.S. for some reason. But that's the biggest honor that they can go ahead and have, right? And so now you have a chance where the World Cup is coming to you, right? You're here playing in the States, so you're going to have a World Cup coming to you. You didn't have to travel anywhere else. So you get to be the resident expert, in a large way of the area, right? So I think it's going to be very much like they're saying in the comments, like depending on how he does in the World Cup. If he scores in the World Cup, that's going to up his price tag. And I think San Diego FC will have to pony up a little bit for that as well.
I agree. That'll be interesting to see how he does play in the World Cup, because I expect him to be on that roster, and maybe he even might get significant minutes. Two final questions I have for you. First question: why did San Diego FC decide not to make a big splash this summer? They were in contention to sign Kevin De Bruyne. We'd heard that for a long time. I think I remember talking to you about that maybe as early as the offseason, that was someone that they were, maybe it was even last year. I lose track of time at this point, but it's been a while, right? They've been rumored with him for a long time. Why did they decide not to sign not only a big name, but just not a third DP at all, especially with as good as this team has been? Maybe that could have been the final piece to really put them over the top.
Well, I think it then goes down to that philosophy of you know what, we're not going to necessarily need to make that big splash. We know the team that we have. Even looking at the roster now, you want to go ahead and poke holes. Go ahead and poke holes because you don't know the names of some of these players, right? Yepes Verskov has now made a name of himself in MLS. Chucky Lozano is known. Dreyer now is known. But then you look at the rest of that lineup and you start seeing the different role players that are really just filling in that space. And when I said the word bespoke, it really is that. It's just next man up. It's like a Lego piece, and they have pieces where they found where they might not be the best in the world, but it's exactly what the team needs, and that's what San Diego FC has been really good at doing, is having a team mentality. And very early on, that game, the first game against Galaxy, you can tell that this team gelled and came together in the locker room. And then that's what's really going to move them forward. And that's what it's been. Great team play. Yeah, you have individual aspects, but great team play is what's put San Diego FC in this place to potentially still finish first place. So why mess up a little bit of the mojo happening with a big name signing that might not be exactly what you need for Right to Dream for SDFC? Because that just may rock the boat a little bit too much from now on.
Did they consider those signing maybe another unknown player to the quality maybe of a, because I guess they got Chucky Lozano, they got a player who's going to be very recognizable in the Southern California market, right? Did they think about maybe signing another DP, not necessarily a big name, but just someone who could bring maybe like an Anders Stryer of the midfield, or whatever it may be, just another player of that level? Was that ever in serious consideration to sign another DP at all?
It was not. I spoke to Tyler Heaps right next to me here at Snapdragon Stadium, and that's where he said that we're not going to go ahead and sign anything. And it was directly after Milan Iloski had actually terminated his contract and gone back to FC Northland. He mentioned that we're not going to go ahead and be beholden to any individual player that we don't agree on their wage, let alone somebody who's not even in the club. So at that point, they were moving forward with that mentality. No third DP. We have what we need here internally, and we'll see how far this team gets. And so far, I mean, it's been working out. That's the thing about this team. Every excuse has been there for this team to falter and say, look, we're the inaugural team. Look, we've never played in this weather. Look, the travel for the players going in the continental United States has been heavy. That's why they're not performing. Well, they've still been able to perform and perform well away as an away team. So, you don't necessarily see that. And the way that the team is built is for those away wins. And they're incredibly confident of the team that they have already. And they just didn't see a need for a third DP at all. So they didn't even look that way this summer.
Okay, so let's talk about the expectations, right? I would say at this point they're playing with house money. They're probably the best expansion team of all time. They've been very competitive. I feel like they've cornered the San Diego market. I feel like anyone who likes soccer that's even given them any time of day is bought in. They believe in this team. I think they're very fun. They're interesting, and they're good, right? Now, this is an expansion team, Tony. They've never played a full regular season yet. They've never played the MLS Cup or the MLS playoffs. A lot of unknowns, uncharted waters at this point. Mikey Veras, like we said, he's a rookie head coach. He's never coached senior team ball before. Where do you think they're going to go? Like, what do you think realistically? Like, do you think they can win MLS Cup this year, or do you think this is a stepping stone season, and it probably won't be until next year that they could seriously contend for the MLS Cup?
I don't think they're a team that you can look at and not give them a chance, at least a puncher's chance to make it all the way and really just keep surprising people and themselves. Because as much as Mikey Vadas and the team wants to say that they maybe expected this, they didn't. Like they really didn't expect to be in such a prime position as they have been. So a lot of it's going to go down to whether or not in that first series of 3, if they go to a third game. Depending how that third game goes is where I'll have a better idea of if they have a chance to go in to later on in the tournament on that one and done situation, right? This best out of 3, there was actually a social media video that San Diego FC put of asking the players, hey, do you know what the playoffs look like? And literally 90% of them had no idea. No idea what a series
Tony, I've got some breaking news for you. Good news if you're a San Diego fan. Dallas is up 1-0 on Vancouver, and Vancouver has picked up a red card.
Good news. That's good. That's good for San Diego FC right now. So now they have to go ahead and take care of business. And right now, for their lineup, they didn't put Chucky Lozano out there. Chucky Lozano is not in the bench, not in the lineup. So they're going with Corey Barrett, they're going with Pellegrino, and really trying to see what do they have in this team moving into playoffs. And like I was saying, once they go into that head-to-head situation, if they can win an elimination game, whether that's the third game in the series, the best of three, then I'll be able to really say, like, okay, they have what it takes. Every single one of these players before, they may have or may have not played in a league where there's this weird playoff system, but they've all played in cups. They've all played in tournaments. They know the mechanics of being able to go ahead and play home, away, some sort of dynamic. But whether or not it's going to happen for San Diego FC is really going to depend if they get to that third game. If they sweep and they win the first and second game, they have a really good chance, and I can see them using that momentum moving forward. But if they falter at any point, that's where this league knows what they're doing in playoffs, and that's where Mikey Vada has to be very careful about being outcoached because he is such a young novice coach. There have been times where he's been outcoached this season, looking specifically at a home match here at Snapdragon against Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota's a good team too. That's the thing. It's just all about matchups. Like I couldn't even begin to tell you who they're going to play in the first round because it's just so much. Like 6 through 11 is completely up in there. We have no idea what's going to be the final seeding in the Western Conference. But I will say this: one thing I've noticed about San Diego FC this year is that the team really does go win and lose through Andrew Stryer. And not to say that they lose when he's bad. It just feels like sometimes when the team doesn't perform around him, they just don't have a chance. Like he literally is like the engine of this team. Andrew Stryer is like he reminds me a lot of Carlos Gil for New England when they were really good. And they're both lefties, and they're both just special playmakers who also can score. My one concern about San Diego FC is I just don't know if they have enough. As good if collectively team ball they play. I just don't know if they have enough to win an MLS Cup. I still think that when you're an expansion team, Tony, you're figuring things out. You're seeing what works. You're seeing who's good, who's bad, who you need to move on from, who you need to keep. I think that they're still maybe a year away from really being like the top tier teams. But look, they could still make it to the final. Anything's possible. Last season, New York Red Bulls, nobody expected them to make it to the final. They were like the 8th seed in the East, and they made it to the final and played the Galaxy. Anything is possible, and with Dreyer, you could make it. I just personally, my honest opinion is they're probably a season away, but that's fine. The fact that you made the playoffs, there used to be a time and place where expansion teams didn't make the playoffs. They were terrible. They might be the worst team in the league, kind of like what you said earlier. If people pick 12, 13, 14, 15th place for the San Diego, some people would have said that's plausible, that's likely, you just don't know. So I feel like the fact that you guys are going to be have home field advantage in the first round, regardless of what happens tonight, you guys, I don't think you guys broke the expansion team playoff points. I think that was like 60. I don't think you guys can break that. Maybe I'm wrong though. Maybe you can break it, or did you guys break it?
I think they broke the record for most points that was held by LAFC.
Okay, maybe so they did break it. Okay, well either way, it doesn't matter if they had broken it or not. Like you watch this team, you just know they're the best expansion team ever. They just play that confidence and stuff. For my money, they were the best team in California this year. Maybe until Son Heung-min came to LAFC, then it changed things up a little bit. I think they're a year away, but you know what? They have nothing to lose. If they got bounced in the first round, this is a good season. It was a great introduction to MLS, but I personally think they're still just maybe a year away.
Yeah, and the biggest question that surrounds SDFC this year, or at least right now, is that number 9 position. And I think if there's any Achilles heel, it's that number 9 position where Marcus Varson was that secondary spinal piece, just like Yepes Perskov, the captain, the number 60 All-Star, has been. He's been injured. And so they've been trying to fill that void with Tomas Angel. They've been trying to fill the void with Barrett, Pellegrino, throw Valacari up there and play Dreyer down the middle. So if a team really just wants to go ahead and take it to San Diego FC, just watch the tape. This Right to Dream play style is excellent. It's high pace. It's total football 2.0. But if you just wait and give San Diego FC space and say, I don't want the ball, take it, you'd figure it out. Sometimes it's hard for them to figure out. So it's that next level growth that maybe San Diego FC doesn't have in year one, where you're just getting the basic, this is what we are. There's no dynamic aspect to the play style because, but you've been playing it by the book this entire time, and the book has been pretty solid so far. So why divert for it? So I think, yeah, they're a couple years away from really having this gem polished, but it's a gem for sure.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see what they're doing. I think they're building it the right way. I think they've been exciting. They've been a great addition. Anytime you get a new team in the league, you want them to raise the floor. You don't want them to be the standard for the new floor. You don't want them to be a bottom feeder as soon as they enter the league. And that's the furthest thing San Diego FC from what they've done in year one. So it's been great to watch them this year. We'll see how they finish the season. We'll see where they finish in the standings. Tony, I appreciate your time. Before I let you go, can you tell everybody where they can follow you at and find your channel and your podcast at?
Absolutely. It's San Diego.football, FUTBOL, soccer in Spanish. San Diego Football for everything San Diego soccer related. We cover MLS, we cover NWSL. Currently, San Diego Wave on the same pitch, whereas SDFC will play their first ever playoff match here at home, is playing for their playoff lives as well. So it's a larger discussion about San Diego even and being a powerhouse in soccer in general for the nation. So San Diego Football, check it out. Appreciate your time and appreciate you having me.
My friend, I appreciate you for joining. You were able to make it, and I'm sure we will talk to you again before the playoffs are over, because I think San Diego FC will probably make it out of the first round. So we'll definitely have you on again. Hope you have a great night. Good luck to the NWSL team, and we'll see what San Diego FC, what they can do tonight. Appreciate it, my friend.
Good. Thank you.
Have a good night. Appreciate Tony for stopping by. Yeah, looks like so Dallas is up 1-0 over Vancouver. Austin FC has taken the lead over San Jose. They're up 1-0. RSL is up 1-0 over St. Louis City SC. St. Louis is terrible. St. Louis City SC is absolutely terrible. San Diego scores. San Diego FC has scored. Oh, Tony's back here. Did you mean to join again?
Yep, just to tell you, 1-0 San Diego. So right there.
There you go. As it stands, San Diego FC will be the first seed in the Western Conference.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, so San Diego FC has taken the lead. They are going to be the first seed in the Western Conference as things stand right now, which would be a disappointing choke job for Vancouver. And it would mean that LAFC would be third place in the Western Conference if these standings hold up at this point. Oh, Vancouver has been awarded a penalty, or do they have a penalty called on them? Harry says, stop the count. Yeah, so far, I mean, this is kind of like I guess you could say worst case scenario for LAFC. If you're an LAFC fan, LAFC, it's kind of out of their hands. If Dallas beat Vancouver and if San Diego beat Portland, then there's nothing LAFC can really do. They're going to finish at the third place in the Western Conference. Mr. said it's a penalty for Vancouver. Interesting. So probably Thomas Müller would take that, I would say. Juan says, anyone know what the red card was for Vancouver? Yeah, Mr. told us earlier that Laporta said had gotten the red card in the earlier in the match. So yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure what the deal was. Not sure what the penalty was, or the red card was for. But either way, even if they do score on this penalty, they're at a disadvantage because they're playing with 10 men. They're playing with 10 men. So that puts them at a disadvantage. Now it's 1-1 Vancouver. Thomas Müller scores a penalty. Thomas Müller has scored so many penalties in his short tenure with Vancouver. He scored so many penalties. I think he has like probably five or six, maybe not six, but probably 4 or 5 goals on penalties. Juan says, would that impact the playoffs? The player can't play next game, right? Yeah, he can't play next game. He'll miss the first game of the first round for Vancouver because of his red card. He would. Yeah. So just so much in flux right now, guys. So much in flux. There's just so many different things that could happen. But if I'm LAFC, I'm still trying to win this game because they really need to. They really need to try to, do everything in their power. If they lose, they can't blame anyone but themselves. Vancouver could still lose, and San Diego could still lose. Now, Vancouver really doesn't matter for LAFC because if they lose, they're still going to finish higher than LAFC. But LAFC need San Diego FC to lose if they want to finish, if they want to play the second seed. Mr. says Laporta was the last man. Juan says, would that impact? Yeah, I read that. Sorry. Harry, holding on to 10 men for basically a full game is tough. It is tough. It's not easy to try to bunker down and prevent the other team from scoring when would you have 10 men? I mean, Dallas is not very good, and that carpet is really hard to play on. But I do think it's tough to do that. It's tough to play like that for the entire game. It's very tough to play like that the entire game. And we're 31 minutes in, guys. 31 minutes in, and it's been an incredible day. It's been an incredible day. Now, also Minnesota, that's an interesting one too. I don't think maybe Minnesota could technically finish above LAFC. So I guess LAFC's floor is that they could finish. Let me look at this real quick. I want to look on my phone and see what the standings are. So LAFC could finish as low as 4. So if Minnesota were to lose or were to beat the Galaxy, and then LAFC were to lose, then Minnesota could jump LAFC, and then LAFC would be the 4th seed and would play Seattle Sounders in the first round, which is not really a good matchup for LAFC. I don't think it's not a bad one. It's just not a good one. Not a good matchup for them in the first round. Hacker says, from when does the playoffs matches start? When do they start? Oh, and looks like RSL got a second goal. Cool Will says RSL has scored a second goal. They'll be up 2-0 on St. Louis. And they are fighting for a playoff spot or trying to hold on to a playoff spot. So the MLS Cup playoffs, the play-in starts on Wednesday, but I think the first official play-in game. Now, I personally consider the play-ins to be in a playoff game, but the first official playoff game that's not a play-in does start on Friday, and I do plan on doing a watch-along for that. Guys, I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to try to do as much as I can just because I know you guys like to do this and watch this, so I'm going to try to grind it out and do as many as I can. This is where the fun season really starts to pick up. I mean, this is it. This is what decides the winner of the league, the best team in the league. So this is where it really starts to get fun and all the work really starts. Now, let me look and see what they're saying about let me see what RSL situation is as far as who they would play and how far they can move up in the standings. There's so many different possibilities. Let's see. Western Conference. So RSL currently, they moved up. They were out of the playoff contention, and now they've moved up into the playoffs. They're the 8th seed as things currently stand. And even if Colorado is, let's see if they, okay. So Colorado's in trouble. I guess maybe they were already at like that. Oh, Luongo's so close. Maybe RSL was already like that, but maybe they weren't. I'd have to remember. I don't remember what the standings were exactly before the game started. Either way, RSL 8th spot right now. They would play Dallas in the first round or the play-in round at the moment. That's how things currently stand. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. St. Louis are terrible. They're pretty bad. Oh my god, that was a close goal almost by LAFC. Very close goal. And by the way, like I said, I'm trying to get Hernand from Austin TV. We are Austin TV to stop by at some point during the game. I've been messaging with him. I think he might stop by and talk about Austin for a little bit. And I'll probably end up doing a post game with Nick to talk about LAFC. We'll see what happens though. We've had 3 guests on so far. We had Favi, we had Alex Calabrese from the Chicago Fire, we had Tony Sanchez from San Diego Football, and then we're going to try to have Hernand from We Are Austin TV. A lot of good voices, a lot of good red voices right there. A lot of good guests tonight. One says Ron Burgundy voice, can't believe Wells, I can't say it out loud, is going to be top of the West. Harry says this is like March Madness first round. It is. It's true. In a sense, it is because of how many teams are in contention to even make the playoffs. St. Louis City is horrible. Absolutely terrible. And they got a lot of issues. I knew that they probably wouldn't be very good this year, but they're really, really bad. Really, really bad. By the way, we have 60 of you in the chat right now. Make sure you give this stream a like down below if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 50 likes on this stream. So make sure you hit the like button down below if you're having fun, if you're enjoying this, if you're excited about MLS Decision Day. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of MLS Cup playoff content on the way. We haven't even begun to get into the fun part of the season. There's still a lot of stuff left to be done. And a lot of entertaining stuff to happen in MLS. So make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you don't miss any of that new content. XX says, I'm rooting for the Quakes. The Quakes probably are in trouble, but we'll see. Sonny, nice pass to Palencia. Palencia with the cross. Little too far. Looking for Hollingshead. I think Hernand's coming on maybe at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see. Yeah, he's going to come on at halftime. We'll talk to him about Austin FC and their turnaround this season, what he thinks about them, and he's been impressed with them. Looks like there might be an injury. Who's down? Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Did you see his finger? Did you see his finger? Navarro, did you see that finger? Like, if you guys are watching the LAFC Colorado match, did you see Navarro's finger? It was sideways. What happened? His finger, like his middle finger, was really like this. It was like crooked, like over there. Oh my God. It looked like it hurt really, really bad. I don't even know if I want to watch it. Oh. Oh my God. I think they popped it back into place and they just oh my God, that would hurt so bad. Bro, listen, PC Matt, I'm telling you right now, you say be a man. Okay, he's going to play still, but dude, his finger was sideways. That would hurt like hell. That would hurt so bad. That would hurt so bad. Nothing about being a man. That shit would hurt. Like 100% that would hurt. No questions asked. That would have hurt so bad. Looks like the scores are the same. Sporting Kansas City, Houston Dynamo actually absolutely has no impact on anything. It's 0-0. Maybe the wooden spoon race, but nothing too crazy. Delgado. Nice turn by Denny. Oh, great turn by Denny. Too high, though. Way too high. That was a nice move by Denny Bwanga. Harry says Sonny played a full game with a broken arm and scored an injury time winner. This was a okay. That was impressive. And look, I'm not saying he should get taken off the pitch or anything. I'm just saying that probably would hurt. Like, I mean, your finger was sideways, it definitely would hurt. That would be a major inconvenience if your finger was sideways. I mean, he's still in the game. Pretty uneventful first half for LAFC and Colorado, but that's what we're used to. We're used to that when they play with Tillman on the right side. We're used to this. Juan says, luckily he's not the goalie. Yeah, no, that could be an issue. But to be fair, with those gloves on, I bet it'd be pretty hard to dislocate your finger. Probably. Mr. says St. Louis penalty, so they might be able to pull it back, make it 2-1. Oh, LAFC scores? Let's see who scores. You're ahead of me, Harry. Is it Sony? It is. It is. Sony! Beautiful goal. Sony with the beautiful goal. Dude, he's so good. Son Heung-min is so damn good. Is that his 10th goal for LAFC? He's too good. He's too good. What a clinical finish by Son Heung-min. Left foot, top. Zach Steffen, he's doing the spins. Didn't even know what to think. The goalkeeper spin. He couldn't even believe it. Wow. Too good. Clinical finish. I mean, what else do you want? What else could you possibly want? I can't see what the time is, and I'll tell you what I'm at. I'm at 42. I'm at 42:15. I don't know how you're so much further ahead of me. Must be like where you're at. Best Korean player ever. Probably best Asian player ever. Probably the best Asian player ever. Just incredible finish. Incredible finish by Son Heung-min. Clinical. They needed that. They really needed that because if Portland is able to come back against San Diego FC, that could be a huge, huge, huge deal. Hacker says, yeah, best Asian player of all time. He is. He is. He might be the best player in MLS right now. Him and Messi are like back and forth for who the best player in MLS is. Who do you guys think is the best player in MLS? You think it's Son Heung-min or you think it's Lionel Messi? Who's the best player in Major League Soccer right now? Who do you guys think is the best player in MLS? Harry says now game could open up more if Dolo pushes. I agree with that. Mr. says, I'll be honest, if I'm trying to think of a better Asian player, I can't think of one player that's better than Son Heung-min. That's true. I can't think of anybody better than him. I think he's the best player they've ever had in the entire continent. VOD says the Western Conference is 10 times harder this year than when? Than Eastern Conference? No way. Juan says Messi brings more than a playmaking aspect. Sony is mostly a striker. No, man. Sony is definitely more than just a striker. He's a great playmaker too. He can pass the ball just as good as anyone can. He's honestly more of a playmaker who's just also good at scoring. He's a hell of a playmaker. Mr. Mister says St. Louis retake the penalty and score, and it is now 2-1 RSL over St. Louis City SC. Hacker says Messi can do everything in the field. He is a playmaker, score, and everything. But that's the thing. Sony can do the same thing. He can do the same exact thing. Now, who's better in their prime? Messi is by far, but I'm talking about right now. Son Heung-min is literally 5 or 6 years younger than Messi. Harry says Cha might have been, but he played a long time ago, 1980s. The top 5 teams in the West are all in amazing form all year. Eastern is bad this year. Look at how Philly ran away with it. No, I don't think it's, but this is how deep it is. Like, I think Philly was pretty good this year. In their career, easily Messi, but right now, Sonny. Yeah, that's my thinking. Messi's definitely a better player than Son Heung-min is, like, long term. I'm just talking about like right now. I'm just talking about right now. Hacker says Sony is doing exactly what Messi did when he first joined MLS. Messi also were fire when he came to Inter Miami. He wins every match and wins MLS League. SPH says, bro, you guys are a new watcher. I can tell. Park Ji-sung won the Champions League and won the Premier League like 3 times. He is the best Asian player without a doubt. Is he the best Asian player or is he the most accomplished Asian player? He might have the most trophies, accolades, but who is the best player? Who is the most talented player in Major League Soccer? Oh, excuse me, Major League Soccer. In Asian football history. Harry says Park Ji-sung is not better than Cha or Son. Now, what if Son Heung-min played for Liverpool? How many more titles? How many more trophies, accolades would he have? Maple Story Guy says, do you know what Messi would be doing if he was on LAFC's team? Miami is legit garbage team in 0 pace. Somehow Messi still has 18 to 19 assists. I mean, here, I'll be honest with you, LAFC is not much better. It's literally Denny Bouanga and Son Heung-min. The team really wasn't that good before Son Heung-min got there. Look at what Giroud was doing last year. Jake Davies says, let's go Timbers. Oh, that was close. I thought that was going in. Mr. says Park was a very good player, but Son's a better player. That's true. Well, that back heel was nice that Denny almost scored. That was very nice. Oh, I thought he was going to score that. That was a great save by Zach Steffen. Very, very good save by Zach Steffen. Hacker says, so to Inter Miami, the season, half of goals are Messi and assist and play making ability. Look, I'm not saying Messi isn't great. He's the MVP of the league. I'm just saying I think Son Heung-min would probably be up there with him if he played the full season. He's been incredible. Are we going to pretend Son Heung-min has not been insane for LAFC at this point? Snaz says, still can't believe Messi only made 1 assist. Jake says, I've had so many nerves these last few seasons on final day. It is nerve-wracking. It is for sure. If you're a LAFC fan, you definitely want Portland to win. And you want Vancouver to well, I guess Vancouver doesn't really matter, but you want San Diego FC to lose to Portland. Jake says, I've had so many nerves these last few seasons. I read that. Sorry, the other comment, he said, nice to go into decision day knowing we are safe already. Yes, you guys are making the playoffs no matter what. Maple Story Guy says, yeah, but Son has someone that has 25 goals and 10 assists and is as speedy as hell. If Messi had Buongas, it's over. That's true, but who's making the decision to not sign those type of players? Who's making these decisions? And it's halftime. It is 1-0 LAFC over Colorado Rapids. First half is over with. Very impressive first half. Well, maybe not super impressive, but it was nice, bounce back for LAFC after they came off a little bit flat. So we'll see what they can do in the second half. And by the way, Favi reports that San Jose might actually have a new buyer soon. San Jose might have a new buyer. It looks like the owner of the Golden State Warriors might purchase the San Jose Earthquakes. PC Matt says Messi's got all those players to help him to play at his best. Look at his first season. I mean, Messi's definitely better than Ronaldo. Like, are you kidding me? We can't say Messi's making the decisions, but even so, we only talking about it in the field production, right? So still can't ignore it despite whoever is making decisions. Mr. Mister says there was that really wholesome clip of Ken Min-jae pointing out to Son that one of the mascot kids had Son's name in his haircut before a South Korea match last week. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, Maple Story Guy says Joe Jacob is super rich. He bought the Golden State Warriors $800 million. Now Golden State is worth $8 to $9 billion. Yeah, if they could get an owner like him, that would be very impressive, and that would probably inject some excitement and help this team realize their potential. Messi is Jordan, Ronaldo is LeBron. There's only one answer. I mean, are we even sure Ronaldo's LeBron? Are we even sure he's that good? I feel like Ronaldo's more like Allen Iverson or something. I don't think he's even LeBron. That's just me, though. The difference between Son and Messi game is a 38-year-old Messi. He still is joyful to watch. His dribbles are just crazy. Passing ability is unpredictable. Messi can do anything in any moment. Of course. Juan says he's old and chasing stats. Now that I can agree, he's like LeBron. That I can agree, he is like LeBron James. I can agree with that. Okay, so since it's halftime, let's pull up the standings. Let's look at how things, if the games were to end right now, let's look and see how the standings would fall. Let's look and see. Let's see how the standings would fall right now if things were to end right now. If the games were to end at this very moment, LAFC would be the 3rd seed, San Diego would be the 2nd seed, and Vancouver would be the 1st seed. And the first and number 1, Vancouver would be playing the winner of RSL versus FC Dallas. The Portland Timbers would be playing San Diego FC, which would be who they're playing right now, which would be another series where we'd have 4 games in a row. LAFC would be playing Austin FC. Minnesota United would be playing Seattle Sounders. I like all these matchups minus San Diego versus Portland. I just don't want to see a matchup 4 times in a row. Does anybody really want to see this? Does anybody want to see 4 of the same games in a row? Hey, don't disrespect Kobe like that. Don't you dare disrespect Kobe like that. Can Nashville beat Miami in round 1? They could theoretically, but they didn't look good. They didn't look like they could today. They didn't look like they could today. They didn't look like they were anywhere close to doing that today. Ronaldo is better than who? So anyway, that's how it stands right now. There's still a lot of uncertainty. FC Dallas, if they take the lead, they still wouldn't pass RSL. But RSL, if they draw, they would drop below FC Dallas if Dallas is able to win. Portland, if they win, even if they lose, I think they're locked in. I don't think that they could finish. Actually, if Dallas were to win their game, they would jump RSL and they would jump Portland to number 7, which is disgusting because Dallas is not worthy of that. But it's where we're at right now. That's the way it is. Austin, they're in the driver's seat. Like, I don't think that they could. No, I guess Austin's locked in too. I don't think Austin can finish any lower. Austin was another team I think that was locked in. Seattle and Austin were both locked into the 5th and 6th seed. Now, Minnesota, if LAFC win and San Diego win and Vancouver win, there's nothing Minnesota can do. They're locked in at number 4. Like, that's happening. But the top 3 is still very much in flux. They're still very much in flux at this point. We will see what happens. When do you think the schedule will come out for next weekend's games? I think it'll come out tonight or tomorrow. I know that there's a game on Wednesday, there's a game on Friday, and there's a game on Saturday. They just have to figure out who's playing who, so that way they can figure out what time slots to make these games. Because I would assume they're going to spread these games out. They don't want their playoff games to be competing with each other. So they're probably going to spread it. They're probably going to release something either tonight or tomorrow. That's what I would think. Could be wrong, though. Juan says Nashville definitely has a shot to beat Miami. They should have had 3 goals in the first half. They should have, but they really choked. I mean, that's the thing. What happens when Miami get Matteo Salvetti back? He might be their second best player already. He's having a hell of a World Cup for Argentina. PC Matt says, I'm going to be real. Ronaldo is above Messi. That's just not true. Juan says, as an Argentine, I'm excited to watch that U20 final tomorrow. Who do they play in the final? Who does Argentina play? Let's see. Morocco. Okay. This should be an interesting game. Hacker says Salvetti has crazy pace and ball control. I'm telling you right now, the kid is the real deal. He's the real deal. We'll see what he can do when he gets older. He's only 19 years old. I mean, he's the real deal. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what they can do. Argentina's got talents, and they only that's all that Inter Miami signed, right? Argentines. So far, we're only halfway through. I've got the standings pulled up. What do you guys think? You think the Eastern Conference decision day's been better, or the Western Conference decision day's been better? Which one have you enjoyed more? We got a special guest here, Hernand from We Are Austin TV. How we doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, enjoying this wacky game between Austin FC and San Jose Earthquakes, kind of spoiling the party / crushing all hope. But hey, it is the San Jose Earthquakes. Got to treat them with a little bit of respect because they're a team that could beat you at any moment.
They could, especially they were a team that was really hot in the beginning of the season. They kind of have slowed down a little bit, but anything is possible, especially when you got teams that are trying to compete and qualify for a playoff spot. And, I didn't realize this. I was looking at the standings. I thought that every team but Seattle was locked in, but I guess Austin have been locked in too. I don't think they have locked in that 6th spot, right? I don't think they really could have changed.
That is correct. So this is kind of like a throwaway game for Austin FC. If you're watching the game, I mean, don't pay any attention to the lineup. It's a lot of rotation pieces. They locked in the 6th seed in the win against LAFC during the international window. Of course, no Sun. Boanga was gone also. Austin was also missing some guys too. But that win got them that 6th seed. So, of course, today nothing is on the table for Austin FC. All the Austin fans tonight, they're looking at San Diego, the LAFC match, and the Minnesota game because that determines who Austin will play in round 1.
So I wanted to ask you about Austin FC this year, Hernand, because they came out swinging, right? They were really good from the jump in MLS, and then they kind of fizzled out. And then we saw Josh Wolf get fired, and they made a lot of changes. They spent some money, invest a little bit more. What's his name? Anthony Precourt, the former or infamous Columbus Crew manager. They hired Nico Estevez, who's kind of like, I don't know, man. He's kind of like a hand-me-down coach in a sense because he failed with FC Dallas. But with the investments they've made, are you surprised? Are you content? Like, how are you grading this season by Austin FC?
We actually talked about this last week, so it's a big talking point because that's kind of a lot that you kind of have to decide on. How this season is also ending because you got to the final of the Open Cup, you didn't win it. It was a cup final at home.
You got robbed.
That was kind of totally. I mean, that was one of the most interesting refereeing teams that I've seen in a long time. And it's a difficult way to kind of write the season because, like I mentioned, you got to the final after losing Brandon Vasquez, who you went and spent $10 million to get to Austin, right? And you got guys like Mirto Usuni for $12 million. You also have guys like Bukhari that you spent $7 million to get. And the worst part about it is that the whole team is kind of built around Brandon Vasquez, and he's the guy that you lose mid-season. So it was a huge hit for Austin FC. I'm sure that Anthony Precourt, would think that he did his job as an owner. I mean, he opened up his checkbook and he talked to all the other owners down here and said, "Hey, we need to invest this kind of money in Austin." They did. Ownership put out $30 million. So the investments, I would put it on more of Borrell. I would put it not so much on Nico because he kind of doesn't have much input in kind of who they get. They kind of just get the guys and they kind of put him together for him and he does his work with them, right? But when you ask me what I think about the season, what I would grade it, I would say this is a good season, not great by any means. I don't know if Austin can, will they ultimately win MLS Cup? I think any team that makes the playoffs can go on to the final and then it's a 50-50 from there. But I mean, I'm gonna be real. I see better teams right now. I see an LAFC side that has 60+ goals this season. Sung already got his goal tonight. I cannot be naive and say, "Oh, Austin's gonna go all the way." I see better teams in front of Austin, right? So, but anything can happen. It is the MLS Cup playoffs. I don't know, man. It's just it's good for me. Not great because you can't be mediocre in the sense and say, "Oh, we had a great season and all this and that," but you lost the cup final at home. Yes, you did clinch playoffs early, but it was a little bit of a bad taste in a lot of Austin fans' mouth because they lost 3 games back to back: the RSL one, the St. Louis one, and of course that cup final versus Nashville. So it's a bit of a bad luck moment to lose Brandon Vasquez. But I like the way that the team responded. I think they still picked up some really important results, home, away from home as well. And I think it was a good season, man. I wouldn't classify it as great, but they did a lot of really good things this year. They reached a new record for most clean sheets in a single season. Brad Stuver got his record, overcoming the likes of Tony Miola. So that's huge for him. And then you beat Seattle Sounders for the first time in your club's history. You sweep LAFC both home and away. You beat the Galaxy same way. So there's some little milestones this year, but you can't hang your hat on kind of really any of them. So I don't want to be mediocre, but I think it was an okay season, just not great.
Well, I think I talked to you about this a couple, like the first time I met you on Cheyon's channel. I don't even remember when that was. Maybe it was the summer. You'd stop by and we talked for a little bit. I'm disappointed in their DPs. I feel like they have one of the most underperforming cast of DPs. And then obviously Brandon Vasquez got hurt. I think he tore his ACL, right? So, and that was like a while ago. But even still, before he got hurt, I don't think he was performing as well as what you expect the guy you're paying $10 million for. Like, you're expecting this guy to be in contention for the Golden Boot race if you're paying $10 million for him. And we know that he didn't have a very successful stint at Monterrey. That's why they got rid of him. And that's when they sold him at Austin FC.
True.
So my whole thinking is how much better would this team be if they had 3 performing DPs rather than 3 underperforming DPs? It's like their DPs are, normally your DPs are supposed to make the team better. It feels like to me the DPs are holding this team back.
I mean, that's not something unfair to say. It's not something that, oh my God, this guy has a hot take. No, it's actually a good assessment of what the DP situation is like. And just to add to that point, Owen Wolf versus San Jose scores a goal, deflected 100%. It's not like he meant to do that, but the ball goes into the back of the net. They all count the same. He is now the leading goal scorer for Austin FC and MLS play. Owen Wolf leading the charge for Austin FC in the attack. Now, that's not taking away anything from Owen Wolf, but he shouldn't be the guy that is the top of the list when you're talking about goals for Austin FC. It has to be, if he was healthy, Brandon Vasquez. It has to be Mirto Usuri. It has to be maybe Bukhari, although you might want to expect more assists from him, more 1v1s. But you're right. I mean, the goal output from the DPs has been nothing than what a lot of Austin fans and, folks like myself would have expected at the beginning of the year when such investment was made. And that kind of just goes to show any young fans out there that just because your club spends money doesn't mean that they will have success on the pitch. That's just soccer 101.
Would it be fair to say that Owen Wolf has had the most impressive season for Austin FC this year?
100%. Breakout season, 100%. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was European teams already having him on his radar for about maybe 6 to 3 months already.
He's only 20 years old. I mean, obviously that's not super, super young, but for MLS, that's very young to be already arguably your team's best player, right? I don't think he's going to be here much longer. I think they probably will get a nice payday for him, and they'll probably take it. I don't know. I just feel like this team is, Anthony Precourt has shown he's willing to invest. You talked about not just necessarily spending money, but spending it smartly, spending it the best way to make the team better. I just look at Austin FC more of a missed opportunity. I think the fans should be happy that they're going to be in the playoffs because you don't want to miss the playoffs. There's too many teams that make it to be one of the ones who don't make it, right? But I don't think and I'm going to ask you, this is the next question I'm going to ask you. I just don't think that they have a team that can compete in 2025 to win MLS Cup.
No, and I think that's something that I mentioned in the kind of rant that I had earlier. I see a lot of great teams in front of Austin FC, LAFC to be one, San Diego, another one. You'd also have, Minnesota is like the weakest link in that top 4, but Seattle looks like they're going to be able to, kind of, do their thing versus them. But the Western Conference playoffs are so weird. This best of 3 stuff is very new, is very interesting. But no, I mean, I actually agree that, this being 100% real, I don't think that Austin FC has the depth. Most importantly, I think they have a good starting 11 that on their best day can beat any team. Defensively, they're the 5th best defense in the Western Conference. Offensively, we know what their output is, but on their best day, of course, in the best of 3, you got to have more than one good game. But if this team were to be able to have 2 really good days, right, they could beat anybody. But for me, the main issue for Austin FC also is in the depth. On the bench, you have Robert Taylor, who hasn't had more than 1 goal for Austin FC since signing for them in the summer. Hader Obrian from Dallas, who was the 2024 Offensive Player of the Year. So far this year, he has no goals. Diego Rubio, who is a great player, was a great player in MLS, but he is a veteran striker. The only guy that really gives you hope off the bench is CJ Fodry, and he's the one that was hot in the Open Cup. He had the game-winning assist against Seattle. But CJ Fodry is a player that was from the college draft, was sent to the next pro to get minutes, and now he's your biggest goal-scoring threat off the bench. There's a big depth issue, and Austin FC needs to get deeper if they want to, make these playoff runs. I will be shocked, and very, very grateful of these guys' effort if they make it, very deep into the playoffs. But it was the Open Cup this year for Austin FC. The fact that they got to the Open Cup final, that was your moment, and Nashville was just smarter. in that situation. And of course, the referees and scam, this and that. But that's just how Austin FC needs to kind of look at this.
So you mentioned that LAFC was swept by Austin FC today. You said that they beat Seattle for the first time in club history. So there's two teams that they potentially could face, either San Diego FC or LAFC. It's only two teams that they can face at this point. Okay. Well, maybe Minnesota United possibly can finish third. Either way, out of those teams, I know you said LAFC scoring like crazy. They're a totally different team with Son Heung-min since he's joined the team, and obviously he didn't play last week when Austin FC had beaten them, and neither did Denis Bouanga. Out of those teams, who would you least like to play out of those three, and who would you most want to play out of those three?
Most Minnesota, because I was there myself in person for the semifinal. And it was magic. CJ Fodry in the last minute. I mean, last kick of the game. That's the best way to win a game. That's the worst way to lose a game. So I think Minnesota, they obviously are wounded on kind of injuries, and also they sold a big player to Villarreal in the summer. Started against Real Madrid most recently. That's who I would want to play from Austin FC point of view. I don't want to play LAFC. I think that nobody wants to see them right now. They're hot. They're firing on all cylinders. You have Heung-min Son, who looks like he's not even trying, but he's really doing so much for the league. I think he's a great ambassador also. And then you have Denis Bouanga, who I don't know if he's I wouldn't say that he's like gone and then come back, because it's 3 seasons where he's scoring more than 20 goals. So he's been here. He's been here. So it's not like, oh, Heung-min Son woke him back up. No, he has been here. But Heung-min Son has done something to Bouanga. I don't know what it is, but I mean, both of them, they are a problem. By themselves, Bouanga was a problem for MLS. Now he has a thing 1 and kind of thing 2 kind of character to his story. So I don't want to see them. But what I will say is that when you have 2 guys like that on a team, if you manage to shut them down, which nobody has been able to do in MLS, if you're able to shut them down, Austin has the 5th best defense in the West. If they're able to crack the code, there's not that many people that can step up for LAFC. I mean, you have Ibobasi, sure, but, that's where I'm kind of headed with this. If they can shut those 2 guys down, they might have a chance. It's like the hardest level in video games. So we'll see.
I got some bad news for you, Hernand. I got some real bad news for you. Dallas just took the lead on Vancouver, and San Diego is now up 3-0 over Portland. So it looks like LAFC is going to face Austin FC in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
so your nightmare is now becoming reality. It seems like that's going to happen. But hey, there's always a bright side to it. At least you're going to get to see Son Heung-min and Denis Bouanga play at Q2 Stadium
twice.
Yes.
Well, not at Q2 twice, but you'll see them play versus Austin FC.
Yeah, twice. Yeah. Well, you could see him play at your place, and so that is one of the positive things. But obviously, that's not you would rather win the series. So yeah, that's what it looks like it's going to happen at this moment. Vancouver got a red card early in the game, so they're not playing very well right now, and San Diego's just thrashing Portland Timbers right now. By the way, Hernand, I want to say this too, man. You got robbed of that award, man. I thought you were definitely going to win that best MLS content creator, man. I thought you were in the driver's seat for that.
Yeah, hey, man, just goes to show that sometimes teams that make it to the Final Four, anybody can win. You got to stay on your toes. But I will say that they better be ready to defend that title next year, because we're going to be back in there.
Yes, you are. And also, too, I want to say this. So since you are like a legend, you are an Austin legend, especially when it comes to Austin FC, I have to ask you a question. Have you met Matthew McConaughey yet?
I have not met Matthew McConaughey, and if I did, the first thing I would say is that, why aren't you doing more for Austin FC when you get the spotlight? He was recently on the Joe Rogan podcast. I heard it twice. 0 mention of Austin FC. If that was Will Ferrell, LAFC is brought up more than 5 times. And he's wearing an LAFC hat to the podcast with an LAFC scarf. And he's probably given the podcast host a care package from LAFC. Disappointed in you, Matthew McConaughey. Oh, he shows up to every UT game. I love UT, but we need more support for Austin FC, mate.
That's what I was going to ask you. Did he mention? I haven't watched that episode. Did he mention the Longhorns at all in that episode?
Actually, I don't think he did either. They talk a lot about
Okay.
AI, stuff like that, about movie
Well,
making and stuff.
hey, at least he didn't single them out, though, right? At least he didn't
That's
mention the
true.
Longhorns and not mention Austin FC.
That's
But
true.
I do agree, as many times as he's tried to be a part or pretend to be a part of Austin FC, you thought he would have at least brought something, a shirt or a scarf or whatever the case. I don't think Matthew McConaughey is much of a hat wearer. I think he likes to show his locks, so I don't think he would have
That's
wore a
true.
hat. But Hernand, before I let you go, I appreciate you for stopping by. I'm sorry that your team's most likely going to play LAFC. I hope that you'll be able to possibly join us, though, for a watch along or a post game recap, whatever the case may be. MLS Cup playoffs are right around the corner, my friend. Tell everyone where they can find your content out, your great content, probably the biggest channel in general for any MLS team that there is. Where can they find your stuff at, man?
Man, you know what? I never thought about it like that, but I appreciate those words from you, man. I know what MLS Moves is. I know the platform that they got, so I want to thank you for the invite first of all than anything. Shout out to you. Thank you for that. I'm gonna have to look into that. I wonder if it is the biggest channel. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. But I will say that it is very unlucky because LAFC is a bit of a boogeyman for Austin FC. They defeated Austin in the Western Conference Final, Leagues Cup elimination by them as well. So if Austin is able to do this job, it'll be like a redemption kind of arc for this anime character. But if it's pointing to the way that all the MLS followers are kind of thinking about it, LAFC is going to go far in this year's competition, and unfortunately, Austin it could be leaning to the point where they're just part of their journey. But anything can happen. Austin could surprise, and if they lock in, they can shock the league. But it's going to take a lot from them, and we'll see what happens. And yes, I would love to be back for some kind of watch along or something like that. That way, we can get more word of Austin FC out, and if there's some kind of celebration in it for me, I'd love to crash out on the stream celebrating.
Of course, my friend. Of course. You're welcome here anytime you want. I appreciate you for coming by. It's been a good conversation. Good luck to your team, man. We'll find out tonight, hopefully, when they play. I'm assuming it'll probably be this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, make sure you go check them out. We are Austin TV, the best that there is. I appreciate it, my friend, and good luck on the rest of the season. I'll talk to you
man.
soon.
Have a good night. Appreciate it.
You too. That was Hernand from We Are Austin TV. Make sure you guys go check him out. Looks like Dallas has taken the 2-1 lead. It looks like LAFC are going to be the third seed in the playoffs. This is not ideal if you're LAFC. You would like to be the second seed just because you have a better chance at hosting the playoffs throughout the rest of the or throughout the tournament, because now if LAFC is the third seed, they're likely going to, I think they potentially could play Vancouver before I think they play Vancouver before the MLS, the Western Conference. I'll have to look and see what the bracket looks like when it comes out. We'll see. Ashcan says easy win for LAFC. Barry, a good friend of the channel, says keep up the great work. RIP Pedro's knee. That is sad. I did hear about Pedro de la Vega. Just can't catch a break. Can't catch a health break whatsoever. And Mr. says 2-0 Carson over, which I'm calling them get the LA Galaxy. 2-0 LA Galaxy over Minnesota United. Minnesota United look like they will be the fourth seed, and they will play the Seattle Sounders in the first round of the playoffs. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is there's still some interesting things that happen. Looks like Austin FC is going to knock San Jose out, and Colorado's not going to make it, and it's going to be RSL, and it's going to be Dallas in the play-in matches, which is really shocking because Dallas, like I said, they've not been very good. They've not been very good this year. They just haven't been. So we'll see what happens with where they play and who they play and when they play. And I mean, look, the playoffs are going to be exciting just because I do wish it was that single game elimination, like I said, because it would feel like every game just kind of like has that intensity and, there's a lot more at stake, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, so Dallas is now 7th. Oh, I guess that's true. I didn't think about that because they did they're winning now. So let's see. So who's in the play-in game now? Let's see. Let's see who's in the play-in game right now. So in the play-in game, it is So it's Portland and RSL in the play-in game. Dang, that's crazy. So, yeah, and San Diego FC at top of the table. That's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. So Dallas would play Vancouver in the first round. Dallas would play Vancouver, LAFC would play Austin, and Minnesota United would play Seattle. You know, I'm actually not too mad about this because I didn't want to see Portland and San Diego again. I didn't want to see that. Well, I guess technically you could see that again, but that was like guaranteed when San Diego was the second seed and Portland was the seventh seed. But now Portland could lose to RSL and then they play San Diego. We'll see what happens, but I just don't want to watch any of these games 4 times in a row. I really just don't want to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see that. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Oh. Yeah, and I just, I don't know how it's going to shake out. There's just so much uncertainty right now. So much uncertainty right now. I will say this, Denny Mwanga had no chance of winning the Golden Boot, though, after tonight. I mean, my God. Even if Messi hadn't scored a hat trick tonight, they still would have been down. They still would have had, what? He still had a 2-goal lead on Denny Mwanga. So... No, but unfortunately, that's always going to be a possibility while they carry on this best of 3 crap. Well, I'm just glad that you agree that it's crap. I'm glad that you agree with that. I'm glad that you agree that this is not good. Messi deserved the Golden Boot. 1-1 Colorado. Colorado scored? It doesn't really matter at this point anyway. Really doesn't matter. The reason I say it doesn't matter is because LAFC are locked into, unless Minnesota were able to come back, they're locked into that 4th spot. Must have been a bad giveaway, though. Oh, my God. What is Hugo Lloris doing? Is that Paxton Aronson's first goal? Yeah, Paxton Aronson's first goal with Colorado. Wow. 1-1 LAFC Colorado. Nothing's changed, though, in the standings. LAFC are still in the 3rd seed. Yeah, San Diego, very impressive. I thought they were going to collapse at the end. I didn't think they were going to be the 1st seed. I thought they could finish as low as the 4th seed, but they proved me wrong. They're the 1st seed. They're going to be the 1st seed in the Western Conference. They are the best expansion team of all time in Major League Soccer. They've proven me wrong. So, hey, they deserve all their flowers. They deserve all of their flowers. San Diego FC does. It's not easy to do that as an expansion team. It's not that easy to do that as an expansion team. So they deserve a lot of credit. A lot of credit as a team. And like I was telling Tony earlier, if it wasn't for Lionel Messi, Andrew Stryer would be the MVP of the season. Andrew Stryer would be the MVP. He just would be. But unfortunately for him, there's a guy named Messi, and he's running away with the MVP. And it just is what it is. Park says, Hugo, yeah, that was terrible. Nick Smith says, what a find for San Diego to get Anders. Anders Stryer is one of the biggest steals of all time in Major League Soccer history. Just is. He's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Lloris gave away a goal. Yeah, that was probably the worst play I've seen. Mr. says Vancouver are bottling it. Lloris had one of the worst. That's probably the worst goal he's given up since he's been at LAFC. That was just terrible. Now, as far as Minnesota United, yeah, they're the only team that could pass LAFC up. I just don't see that happening. They're down 2-0. They're down 2-0. Why does it say that they're still up 1-0? Weird. SPH says, as long as Miami doesn't get turf, I'm fine. Alex says, at least Dreyer will be second in MVP voting. You know, he probably will be. He probably will be, especially now that they've finished at the first place in the Western Conference. They probably will. They probably will. Worst goal he's given up since the 2018 World Cup final. Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there. That normally a vet like that doesn't make mistakes and can give away a goal. Like, I mean, he put on a platter for Paxton Aronson. So we'll see. San Diego is now up 4-0 over. God, they're just beating down Portland. Poor Phil Neville. Poor Phil Neville. SPH says, I have a feeling Vancouver get another penalty. Well, that's the thing. Even if they do, I don't think it would matter. Even if they do, they'd have to. Well, I guess that's true. I guess if they do tie, that they would advance and be the first seed. We'll just have to see what happens. I mean, technically, it's not over. Technically, they could. Technically, they could. It's a 66th minute. At least it is in this LAFC match. I don't know why this. Not really sure why this isn't loading or showing the times. Let me refresh it and see if that will do it. There we go. Now we got the times. Now we're good. Now we're good. VOD says this game is such a hype killer. The LAFC match? God, that was terrible by Bawanga. But you do see like some of these, like you see that LAFC definitely have some flaws. Can't believe they didn't call that though. I thought that might have been a whistle. Tillman is just not it. I don't know why Tillman keeps playing, instead of Morin, but like he's not. Morin should be playing instead of Tillman. Oh, that was on a platter for Denny Bwanga. Yeah, very boring match entering the playoffs. I mean, some of the matches have been pretty crazy. This one definitely has been a little boring. It's been a little, that's the Dolo special. Dolo is boring. There's nothing exciting about Dolo. Nice turn by Sony. Bad pass from Denny Bwanga to Son Heung-min. Denny Bwanga is just so inconsistent. This is kind of why Denny Bwanga wouldn't win MVP, because he just doesn't. He has games where you just get frustrated and you think, what are you doing, man? Renewing the contract on Tillman was the worst decision in LAFC history. I'm calling it now. I don't know if it's that bad, but I mean, it's definitely not good. I don't know if it's the worst decision in history, but it's definitely is not aging well, right? It's definitely not aging well. Oh, just a thought. Someone in MLS should go for James Ward-Prowse on loan in the winter. I think there's a lot of guys that some of these teams need to go for, but a lot of these teams are just ultra conservative and they don't really go for anything too crazy or try to. They're very slow. Like I would say that they move very, very slow. A lot of these teams do. Sonny with the ball, left side, pacing down the left wing. Passes it to Hollingshead, was looking for Bouanga, deflected off of Colorado player. Zach Steffen gains possession of the ball. At least Giroux gave us a trophy in Open Cup. Tillman always cost us, cost us important matches. I mean, I would say that I wouldn't say he always does, but he definitely is disappointing. Oh. Me fix the scores real quick. There we go. Still no changes. Still pretty much the same. Still a lot of time left in that Vancouver game. If they do draw, they will. If that game ends in a draw, they will. Vancouver will take over as the first seed in the Western Conference. He's not his brother. I'll just say that. Oh. I dislike how long Dolo takes to change the players. He's not a good tactician. He's not good. Jake says, F sake, Timbers. Yeah, the Timbers are not doing well, my friend. Timbers aren't doing well, my friend. They're not looking too hot. And now they're going to likely play in that play-in match. And they're going to have to play RSL in order to even make it to the first round. Not exactly what you're expecting or what you were hoping for if you're a Portland Timbers fan. Not what you were hoping for. You know what's funny is this LAFC team look a little tired, but they didn't. I mean, I guess Denny and Sonny have played friendlies, but you wouldn't think they would look this fatigued in this. But also, too, I have to be fair. They are playing at a higher altitude. They are playing Colorado, and the altitude definitely could affect the way they're playing. But I expect them to play a little bit better than what we're watching right now. Oh, thought that could have been a goal, but it wasn't. Yeah, Dolo is only saved from the star players he's received. Just imagine if we had a competent coach with all the players Dolo has had at LAFC. I agree with that. That's why I think the next coach they hire is going to be a big deal. It's going to be crucial. Harry says that's only 1,000 feet down from Denver. What is? LAC had no issues with RSL a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they didn't, but it's I don't know. Sometimes it just really depends. I think it could be an impact because of how many games they played recently. That's kind of like my thing. How many games they played recently? Meaning they're stars. Jake says, I'm very tired, guys. Yeah, I would assume so. It's like, what, 3 a.m? They probably know that they're locked in at number 3 now. Yeah, they probably do. It's a little sad though that Denny didn't score a single goal in this match, when he was in contention for the Golden Boot race and he didn't even score a goal. Jake says, I'm going to bed. Bye, Mr. and Will. Have a good night, Jake. Appreciate you for stopping by, my friend. I think Jake's from Wales, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, almost 4 a.m. there. That's crazy. Thank God it's a Saturday, right? Thank God it's a Saturday. No more Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, I guess there will be weekday games again, but hopefully not as many as what we've seen the last couple months with all the teams that have been trying to catch up in the schedule. Bouanga, bad attempt, goes out of bounds for a Colorado goal kick. Let's look at the scores. Still the same thing. 4-0 Portland Timbers San Diego FC over Portland Timbers. Houston Dynamo, Sporting Kansas City 0-0. St. Louis City 1, RSL 2. Colorado and LAFC tied at 1-1. LA Galaxy 2, Minnesota United 0. Vancouver 1 with a red card. FC Dallas 2. And finally, San Jose has tied it up with Austin FC 1-1. That's interesting. That's interesting that San Jose's tied it up. Let's look and see what difference that makes. Let's look at this real quick. Son Heung-min's coming out. All right, let's see. Tillman's coming out too for probably Morin. Let's see. So they'll have 39 points. Yeah, so they're still statistically eliminated. RSL would have had to have lost or have a draw. Yeah, I think San Jose's eliminated at this point. I don't think they have a chance of making it, which is disappointing. They signed Bruce Arena, they spent all this money, and then they don't even make the playoffs. Very disappointing, honestly. Huge disappointment. Ooh. Makes zero difference. Are you talking about the Saturday, Sunday? Yeah. Will they change MVP from Landon Donovan Award to Messi Award, or will they want to keep it as a U.S. national player? They'll probably keep it as the Landon Donovan Award. They don't normally change trophy names like that. They normally keep it one thing, and then that just is what it is. I mean, they might change it, but I doubt it. I doubt they would change it. I guess Tony's out because he's probably resting. He played, with the national team, and he's probably just getting some rest. Ashcan says Sony's being substituted. I'm switching over to the Vancouver game. Yeah, I'm going to switch it over too. I'm going to go watch the Vancouver game because that matters. That could be the supporter shield. I'm going to switch it over to the Vancouver Whitecaps and FC Dallas match. We'll see. We'll finish this off and see what happens. 75th minute, 2-1. Dallas over Vancouver. Vancouver just needs a draw. If Vancouver gets a draw, they're the first place team in the Western Conference. Sebastian Berhalter, set piece specialist, over the ball right now. On the carpet, the green carpet. Oof. Mr. says, well, LA have got nothing to play for. Might as well rest Son for the playoffs. There isn't anything to play for at this point. Yeah, it's kind of out of their control too. No matter how well they play tonight, they still would have been the third seed, which is kind of a shame, but that's just the way it is. Oh, San Jose pulled one back, huh? That's the thing, though. They would need I think they're eliminated regardless. Even though they pulled back and they're beating Austin FC, it doesn't. I don't think it matters at this point. I think they're cooked. Oof. Oh, so close. Oh my God. Oh my God, that was close. Oh. Again, San Jose goal makes 0. They're toast. It's over with. Foul on FC Dallas. Nick Smith says if Dallas concedes, they are out of the playoffs. Really? So Dallas would be knocked out. Who would Dallas replace, or who would replace Dallas? Would it be Colorado? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. No, they wouldn't be out of the playoffs. They'd be a play-in. Dallas, if Dallas conceded right now, they'd be in the play-in. Yeah, they would still be in the playoffs. XX says, let's go Quakes. Yeah, if Colorado scored 2, then they'd probably be out. Sebastian Berhalter. Free kick in a dangerous spot. Oof. It's a bad pass. Oh! Oh! Just wide. Who was that? Illumi, just wide left. Oh my God. Should have had that. Should have had that. I'm watching Dallas versus Vancouver right now. Full sell changes for FC Dallas. God, FC Dallas have the worst kits in the league. They look so bad. They look like training tops. They're so bad. SPH says, us Miami fans worrying about Dallas, so by any chance we make it to the final and we don't got to face Vancouver on their turf. Soccer Daddy says LAFC most likely will face Austin, and Austin beat LAFC both times this season. Yeah, but they haven't beaten them with Son Heung-min, if I'm not mistaken. They haven't beaten the new version of LAFC, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was pre-Sony. Anything's possible, though. I mean, no one thought Atlanta was going to beat Miami, so anything is possible. Oh, you would think that Dallas is playing with 10 men with as many attacking options as Vancouver's had. Anything is possible after last season, Miami, Atlanta. 100%. Oof. LAFC will be a heavy favorite versus Austin, for sure. Ryan Gauld coming in. Cabrera coming in for Vancouver. Playoffs start. The play-in games start on Wednesday. The playoffs start Friday. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Mr. Uncom Scottish Messi. Keyshawn says, let's go. New York City FC winning it all. We'll see. We'll see. They're playing. Were they playing the first round again? Miami's third. Philly's first. Cincy's third or second. New York City's playing. Yeah, Charlotte. That's right. Charlotte FC. Dallas is defending is atrocious. Yeah, they are. It is atrocious, but a lot of defenses are atrocious. Colorado scored 2-1. Interesting. There's 6 minutes left plus add time. Vancouver could easily, well, I won't say easily, but they could definitely pull one back. They could definitely pull one back. Dallas aren't good facing 10 men and looking like ones that are a man down. That's exactly what I said. They look like they're a man down. Oh, I tell you what, Dallas still makes me a little nervous here. They're making me very nervous. Oh, Muller's just He's just sitting back waiting. Oh, Muller from deep saved. So now if Dallas concedes, they are out. Don't think so. No, they'd be the Knights. Well, hold on. Yeah, I guess they would be. Well, I thought. I guess they would be technically. Yeah. Harry says Bouanga subbed out for Das. Yeah, they packed it in. They've packed it in. No, they'll be on 42. 2-2. Oh, so they pulled one back. Who scored for LAFC? Who scored for him, Harry? Oh. If Dallas and Vancouver tied, they would be out. Then they might be able to. They might be out. Oh. Oh, he's looking for Müller. He was too far behind him. Morin scored. That's exactly why he should be playing instead of Tillman. Morin scored in like 10 minutes to play. That's exactly why he should have played. That's why he should start. I don't know why he's not starting. No idea why he's not starting. Yeah, LAFC did score. LAFC did score. St. Louis are dreadful. I can't watch them. They're too hard to watch. They're way too hard to watch. Guys, we've almost been streaming for 5 hours. 5 hours. I have to see who uh-oh. Berhalter. Poor pass. Okay, Colorado and San Jose, good night. Until next season. Yeah, they're done. Pretty bad. I've told you guys before, if you don't make the playoffs in MLS, you should be fired. You should be fired in MLS if you don't make the playoffs. You should be fired instantly. Shouldn't even be a question. Shouldn't even be a question. Shouldn't even be a question to me that you should be fired. If you don't make the playoffs, 18 teams of 29 make it. If you don't make it, you should be fired. That's how it should be. No questions asked. Mr. says, I'm going to bed at the end of this stream. Yeah, I don't blame you. If it's 4 in the morning, man, I don't blame you. I appreciate you for stopping by both streams, though. Watching the game with me. Or games with me. Harry says, what if two DPs get injured? What do you mean if they get injured? Oh, St. Louis scored? St. Louis scored to tie it with RSL. Let's see if that makes a difference. Let's check this out real quick. Let's see. Standings. Let's see. What the hell? All right. Let's look this up real quick. Okay, now RSL is... Now RSL is the 9th seed team. Portland is the 8th seed team. Dallas is the 7th seed team. I'm trying to remember if that's what it was before. So Portland would host RSL now. Interesting. Did you hear college might do pro rel? I did see something about them changing the college, reforming college soccer, which would be pretty cool. How much time do they have left in the LAFC game? Looks like they have. It's about to be over with. Your team missed the playoffs, but your DP snapped ACLs, etc. Like, what if your teams? I mean, if they snapped their ACL, then you're just screwed. 3 teams on 41, but RSL has the most wins, so they're still good. Doesn't make any difference. Okay. Maybe 1 minute left, injury time. Oh, okay. Gotcha. For LAFC game. Long Island is launching an MLS Next Pro team. Yeah, I saw that. Looked pretty cool. Four minutes of ad time left. It's 2-1. Berhalter with a bad cross. Too low. Oof. Vancouver is able to keep possession. Kubas has got the ball. Goes out wide. Down the left flank. Galled for Berhalter. Looking for... Müller was making the run, but he didn't find him. Galled out wide left. Cabrera with the cross. Oh, good block by Dallas. Oh, that's a foul. Yeah, it was definitely a foul. He shoved him. Come on. Three minutes left of ad time. 3 minutes left of ad time. Oh, Cabrera, too high. Too high for Cabrera. Oh my God, it's so close. Good clearance. Good clearance. LAFC game is officially over. 2-2 draw. LAFC and the Colorado Rapids. Minute 30 seconds left in this added time. Sebastian Berhalter with the corner. Cleared by Dallas. Kubas. God, these crosses are terrible. Oh! Oh my God. So close. Oh. "20 seconds left. 20 seconds left. You think Miami or Nashville has a chance against Miami? Yeah, I think anyone has a chance. Anybody has a chance in the playoffs to beat the other team. Oh my God, that was almost an own goal. So close. So close. Looks like this might be it. I don't think they might blow the whistle here in a second. Out of bounds throw in. Vancouver. Might be the last chance. 20 seconds already past the added time. 20 seconds past the added time. Better hurry up. Oh my God. Great tackle. Great tackle. 45 seconds past added time. Gald going deep. This is the last chance. Cabrera crosses it, passes it to Müller. Müller. Oh, bad pass. There's the final whistle. San Diego FC has beaten. No, sorry. San Diego FC has won the Western Conference for their first seed after Vancouver lose to FC Dallas. Incredible upset by FC Dallas to beat them on the road on the green carpet, right? I appreciate all you guys for watching Decision Day with us. Both streams, East and West. I hope you guys enjoyed these live streams. Playoffs are right around the corner. Predictions, a lot of videos are coming out soon. Make sure you guys like the stream down below if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. And until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.